Welcome back to Extend Microsoft Copilot series. In previous videos, we have built a custom connector and a custom MCP server inside Power Platform, and then we built Copilot Agent to use it. And then we've tried a different approach using Copilot Connector, also known as the previous Graph Connector, and we've used that in Microsoft Copilot. And we've showed you 3 different ways to consume the same knowledge source. And throughout all these practices, we have used the external API provider called FMP. They provide lots of financial data. And today, they have released a MCP server officially. If you go to their website, shortly after we made last video, I realized they have now an official MCP server. If you scroll down here, introducing the FMP MCP server. Our MCP server wraps all our traditional REST API endpoints into ready-to-use AI tools. When you connect your AI agent to FMP's MCP server, it will give you instant tool access, seamless integration, context aware. So you can see this MCP server is primarily built for Claude or the Cloudflare Worker AI. Now there are also some code you can use it for elsewhere. So in this video, we're going to try to build this and to connect with Microsoft Copilot. If you watched our previous video, you will know how we built the custom connectors and the custom MCP servers. Basically, there are hundreds of API endpoints from the FMP, and we had to pick and choose, select a couple. In our example, we picked like 8 endpoints and wrapped it as a connector or MCP server. Now, with this new approach, the FMP's official MCP server, obviously we do not need to do that. And that is one of the biggest benefits, because now you have access to all their tools via this official MCP server. So the first thing I want to find out is to use this list tool to work out how many endpoints actions are actually available in this official MCP server. From the client list underscore tools, we know this MCP server actually exposed 247 tools. It is specifically developed for Claude, so it will have no problem access all 247 tools. But with Copilot, there is a specific limitation that there are only 70 tools that can be used within the Copilot Studio. Now, we probably don't need all 247 tools, but if we're going to use up to 70 tools, it's better be something we need. So how do we customize that? Because by default, this UI inside Copilot Studio, it does not let you pick and choose which 70 tools can be used from this MCP. So in this video, we're going to show you how we work around this problem, how we can custom pick and choose, config these 70 tools that we need from this official MCP server. Since we can't config the official FMP MCP server, which has all 247 tools, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use Azure to deploy a proxy using the app services. And within this proxy, we can choose which up to 70 tools we want out of this 247. And then our Copilot Studio will be talking to our proxy MCP instead of the official MCP directly. So is this an optimum solution? Clearly not. It introduces delay, a more complex infrastructure, and it's probably not the right way to do it. But we're here to learn, and we just want to test out this theory. So we're going to try to use Copilot Studio to connect to the official MCP server via our proxies. Start a new folder, empty folder, and let's try GPT 5.4, which just got released. So here's our prompt. I want my Copilot Studio to use the MCP server from FMP. It was created for Cloud and Cloudflare, but we need to customize to work with Copilot Studio because there is no native way to do it. And we also have a limitation that Copilot Studio can only support up to 70 tools, and FMP exposes more than that. And we need a way to customize which 70 tool we can pick and choose. Please come up with a solution. After a couple minutes, here comes the clarifying questions. The architecture is narrowing down to an adapter in front of FMP. So it's similar to what we discussed before. How do you want the admins to choose 70 exposed tools? Simple. I would like to have a UI. Where would the adapter run? Since we're Microsoft, we'll do Azure Functions. Should the 70 tools be one fixed set or switchable set? Multiple profiles. Switch between curated tool packs. Maybe we do that. And we can change that later. Let's read the plan. Build a selective MCP adapter in front of FMP rather than connecting Copilot Studio directly to the raw FMP URL. So this is what we expected. Recommended architecture, we already know most of it. It's going to be a adapter on Azure Functions or App Services. Why this is the right solution? Copilot Studio support remote MCP server over streamable HTTP and can onboard an existing MCP server, which is what we're doing. But we have a limitation of only 70 are supported. So we need a way to selectively choose what endpoints we need for this MCP server. So verification, key decision. Okay, let's ask one more question. Where would the admin UI to be hosted? My guess is probably in the Azure Web Services or Azure App Services. I'm checking the Azure specific guidance. Yep, looks like that's where it's going. The admin web UI should be hosted in the same Azure App Services as the MCP adapter. So basically under the same function app. That's good, that's what we wanted. So I just want to add a bit of polish. I like it to be simple but modern, sleek, dark theme website that listed all the exposed FMP tools the user can select and choose. It should have a curated bundle pack available for quick selection, and then user can also pick and choose to modify the selected pack, or user can start with a fully customized selection for up to 70 tools. Let's send that, see whether it will modify its plan, tell us whether it's possible or not possible. That fits cleanly into the plan. Okay, so let's go start implementation. The implementation has completed. There's a lot. Let's just scroll all the way down. Okay, so the first implementation pass is live. What's been done? We've got a UI. We've got a few profiles being pre-made. FMP sync is probably not done yet because we don't have the API keys. So the app is running. We can have a look. And what's not being done intentionally is it does not have an API key, which we know. It hasn't done the authentication for the web app, and also we haven't deployed to Azure now, just running locally. Here is the FMP API key, and please make sure the admin UI will list the full 200 plus tools in the catalog. Now I don't want to prompt too much on how we're going to modify the admin UI. We'll start a new chat window. For now, we just want to make sure it actually syncs with the official MCP with the API, with our API keys. It has a nice big title for the web UI. Then we have these bundled pack, which are pre-bundled with tool selections. If we click on use this pack, you can see on the right it loaded. It tells you there's 7 tools, 8 tools have been used. Then this section, I don't really know what that is, but clicking it looks like it does the same thing as this bundled pack, so looks like it's a bit of duplicate. And next we have the catalog. Now after we modify the code, it is showing me all the 270 tools, 246 tools. So we probably don't want all these tools to be showed on the first page. That's not necessary. So the first thing we want to do is I don't want all 247 tools to be displayed. So let's make pages. So this is our first feature. We'll do one feature at a time. Okay, so it has implemented the pagination to 25 tools per page. Let's have a look. Let's refresh the page. See, this will disappear, become much shorter. Restart the server. Now you can see we have the pagination running. So this is the page. 25 tools. And let's see whether search works. So for example, we click on one of these category, calendar. How many do we have? 11 tools. Good. News. Next, I want these pre-made bundle pack. Has a bit more tools. Right now it's only like 6 or 5. So I want to fix that. And also these buttons are not aligned. Let's fix that as well. Let's make the UI a bit simpler. I want a 4 pre-made bundle pack for about 25 to 30 tools. And when you select the pack, you can still add or remove tool before publish. And also align the buttons. We have polished this bundle packs area a bit. Add a bit of illuminated animation. Only one button is required. So if you go use this pack, you can see it's being populated to the right. And then it has 30 tools pre-selected for you, which you can see if you scroll all the way down. It's all here. And you can add more. If you add more, become 31. So you can select a bundle and add more tools and then publish it. Let's also get rid of these published options. I don't really know what the purpose of that, because we already got this bundle pack and we got fully custom, which click that, it will give you 0 tools to start with, and you can select anything you want. And also this giant banner, we don't need that big. The cleanup is done, so you can see the top banner is much slimmer. And we also had a spider chart. When you select different pack, it produces a spider chart, which look very nice. And when you go fully custom, it will also represent different strength when you select your custom tools. And you can just select them from here. Maybe we should clean up these cards. They all look like different size, and these labels are not very nice. So let's fix that. That's done. We've cleaned up the look of these tools cards. Now where it says amber yellow color, that means there are more to the descriptions. Skip cut off. Okay, that's very nice. And on top you can see what pack has been selected, what sort of tools, and if we go for the custom, you can see it's custom 0 tools selected. If we add some tools here, 1 and 2, you can see it's 2 tools selected, and that shows different strengths on the spider map. We have a macro, smart money, sentiment, technical, just a bit of fun. And once it's done, we'll select publish active profile. The web UI is completed now. We are very happy with the result. Now let's make sure this adapter actually works with the official MCP server before it gets deployed to Azure. If you watched my previous video, you would have known that we've seen us to using the MCP Inspector, which is a tool that from Anthropic to test your MCP server connectivities and tool callings locally. Previously, we would have done it ourselves, but today I'm not even touching it. I'm just letting the coding agent to do all the work. It's going through a lot of testing. And from here, you can see it's already connected to our local MCP. So not the official FMP MCP on the internet. It's connected, it's doing its debug. And these histories, I have not done that. It did it itself, initialized it, ran the tool list, tool calls, and it's kept on going. So we'll give it a couple minutes and see what the result is. The local MCP Inspector test results is out. You can see now it done initialize, tool list, and 2 tool calls, which is the stock news and earnings calendar dates. All green, except there's some problem with my subscription, which we know because I'm on the free tier. Let's see whether we actually got any API calls. So refresh this. Has it actually done any API calls? 2. Well, that's almost too good to be true because we did have 2 API calls. we are ready to deploy to Azure. So before you do that, make sure you have all the Azure related extensions installed. I've got all of them here. Now the local code is ready. Please deploy to Azure. Use my subscription, create a new resource group, and prompt me for the authentications. The deployment has completed. You can see it has took a while. This is 400, almost 500 seconds, but it is up. This is the website. If we look to the right, it says subscription has been used, resource group created, authentication done, app deployed, web app, service plan, blah, blah, blah. Now let's see whether we can click on this. This is our configuration web UI. Now in the cloud, you can see from this URL. Looking very good. And if we come back to our Azure, let's refresh this. Do we see the resource group? Yep, we've seen the new resource group. And we've seen all these applications are here. So we have a app services here. Let's see whether the authentication has been done for this web app. So go to settings, authentication. Okay, so it's not done yet. If we click that, we can add Microsoft as the IDP, which is what we're going to use, but we're not going to go through this. And we're going to ask our coding agent to do that for us. And it will be scoped to the same group that we used from previous video. So this group called FMP Access has our user in it. We're just going to copy the object ID for this group and prompt our agent. Before that, let's confirm our design thinking still intact. I have verified the web app and it's working. It is the URL, so this Azure URL is the URL that we're going to use to connect our Copilot Studio when it comes to the MCP server. Yes, the Azure web app is your deployed adapter host. For Copilot Studio MCP connection, use this adapter URL. Great, so this is what we're going to use. Not the site root. Okay, and this is the endpoint to configure. Okay, so next, let's configure the authentication for the web app. We only want users in this Entra group that are allowed to connect to this MCP and also use the web UI for configurations. The authentication has completed. What I have changed, I have enabled app service authentication, create a Entra app registration, set up the redirect URI. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's refresh this website. On the web app, let's see whether there is. Okay. So it looks like authentication has been set up here. And if we go to the app registration and we'll refresh this. Okay, it looks like there's a couple has been created. So it must have some problem because we saw it running for quite a long time. You have registered too many applications. Please make sure there's only one needed. So we copy pasted all the application IDs in there. The cleanup is done and we found this is the only one that's needed. These are deleted. Let's copy that. We'll refresh this again. Yeah, there should be only one left. And I think the reason it had many is because it failed many times. These are not, these are previous one. It failed, it took really long time, so the agent was trialing it again and again. So that problem is fixed. Coming back to the web app, under the authentication, we can see this app ID is the one that's being left. Okay, so that's one problem. The second problem is you are viewing this latest authentication screen in the video. This app is configured in legacy version of Experience, and also the app reference secret not found in your Entra ID applications. Can you have a look at these warnings for the web app authentication and just pasting the error message? It has done a very long analysis, and the final result, what the warning means, secret warning, auth was in legacy, and now we need to migrate to V2. Yes, please, it only needs to support Microsoft single sign-on, and the application is scoped to the provided Entra group only. Let's Let's refresh the page and hope this error should be gone by now. I think we just need to click the rotating secrets. And let's set it to 180 days and start rotation. We'll refresh it and error is gone. So now this is done. A few things you might get caught depending on your coding agent, right? For example, I had a problem with using the old Azure Authentication library instead of the V2 MSAL. So I had to tell it to migrate to V2. The app is registered. Now if we click here, manage endpoint in local home directory, local directory, that will take us to the managed application where under the users and groups, this is where you can assign your permissions, and we have assigned to this group. Before we can use the MCP in the Copilot Studio, we have to publish our tool because we want to tell the MCP which 70 tools we want to use. Right, so on our web UI, first on the top, it shows what's being currently selected. Now, Smart Money Tracker has 33 tools. Here it shows 34 because when I select this, so now this is selected, it says 33 tools selected. I just wanted to add an extra. So for example, this search name, let's add it. Now we have 30 tools. So kind of custom, a pack plus additional tool. And we'll go publish active profile. It says profile has been published. So I'm going to turn this stuff I've made in the past. So we're still using the same agent, but I'm going to turn off the tools that we created before from previous video. I'm going to add a new tool and we're going to select MCP. Let's give it a name, MCP FMP MCP adapter, because we are not directly connecting to the official MCP server. I have asked the coding agent to write me a nice description so the coding agent or the Copilot Studio agent know when to use. Now back to authentication, we're going to select manual for OAuth 2, and I'm going to show you where you get these. In your app registration, you will have your client ID here, and if you click on endpoint, you will be using OAuth 2 for the authorization URL, and for the token template, you're going to go use the OAuth 2 for the token endpoint as well, V2. And then you need a client secret, which you're going to come here and you're going to create the new client secret and then give it to the Copilot Studio. We're just going to go click new and we'll call it Copilot Studio. And then go add. You will copy this value of the secret ID here and paste to your Copilot Studio. Let's see whether we can successfully bypass this connection. If it can redirect us to login, that worked. And add a config. So the coding agent has fixed that for us. But the trick is do not restart the whole thing, because when you restart your MCP tools creation, that redirect URL might be different again. Okay, here is our MCP adapter connected inside our Copilot Studio. The first thing I want to see is whether we got 34 tools here. Now, how can we count? We can't, but remember we added search name there. That was there. Very good. Let's try it. What is the stock ticker symbol for Apple? Always forget. Here we go. Submit. Now let's go back. Back here and we go retry. And what we want to see is we will go through the adapter. Here we go. It's going through our MCP adapter to give us the answer. Right, the answer comes back. And that is Apple. And we know it's coming from our MCP because we see this workflow on the left. Now let's try ask a question that shouldn't be included in this MCP adapter, because this bundle pack we picked does not have, it shouldn't have the financial statement tool. So we'll go ask that. It shouldn't return. Okay, here we go. You can see that it's already going out to a different knowledge source. Now coming back to the MCP adapter, found the name, but also no statement. So it went to another knowledge source. Let's see how easy it is to swap out the tools and have a different combination. So right now we are on this smart money tracker, 33 tools, plus one tool which I added the search name. Now 34 tools. We're gonna switch that to this fundamental deep analysis because it has a statement there. That's what we want to try. Let's use this pack as 35 tools. And just to make sure it works, we'll add one more thing. So the one that says select means it's not included in the pack. The one says remove, that means it's already in the pack. So again, we'll add this search name because I think this is quite important. Without that, we can't even look up any stock symbols. So let's add that. You can see here it should become 36. And we'll publish this as a active profile. Profile saved. Yeah, let's just try refresh. And then we'll go to the MCP adapter. Not sure whether these tools will get refreshed. Seems like it's loading something. Search name is there. Oh, the statement. That is very simple. So by publishing a new profile from our web UI, this list all being updated now with all the statements. And you can see the actual search name I have added. Great. So we'll ask the same question again. Can you show me the latest financial statement from Apple? It now should be able to find the answer because we have the right tool now. So this is not doing exactly what we want. This is from the search source. Okay, maybe we need to reset this. So let's reset this. We'll go new test session. Then we'll put our same prompting. You should first use the search symbol to find the stocks we're looking for. And then you go to the other tool to find the statement. Can we find the statement? Looking for the tool, search by symbol. It's actually try to find this. Okay, so it looks like we've got something. Anything you could find. You can see the tool has been loaded. That's called financials-latest. But the problem could be these pre-made pack. I just asked the AI to make it, so they might not be well thought, because to be able to ask questions, you need to know what the company is. So let me just add search symbol and search naming. So that will be total of 37 tools. We will go publish it, wait for it to publish, and then we'll come back to our tools, make sure this is updated. I'll refresh that. Now do we see the newly added? So it should be 37 tools now. We have search name, here you go, and search symbol, the one we just added. Excellent. Now let's see whether we can ask the same question again. We know there are search symbol, search name. We also know there's statement. So let's just ask what we have. Latest income statement from Apple. First, it went to the MCP adapter. It went to the correct tool, income statement. And looks like it is pulling the tool and returning the results for the income statement. Excellent. Here we go. Total revenue is very slow because it's going through our Azure web app and then go to the MCP from the FMP financial services. And I'm on the free tier, so everything is slow. But we know that works. So in this video, we have shown you when you are connecting to an external MCP server and they have more than 70 tools, and your Copilot Studio are limited to load only up to 70 tools, and how you can get around it. because by default, it will only load first 70 tools from the external MCP connector, and you cannot even pick and choose. So we've showed you how you can build a web app on Azure as an MCP adapter, and we also built a web UI to show you can log on and also how to change different combinations. You can pick and choose what sort of tools you want, and then you can use that for your Copilot Studio. We also showed you how you can configure your Azure app, and in the scope, you can limit your access to a certain group and users. So only members of the group can access this web UI to configure the MCP and also use the MCP, consume it within the Copilot Studio. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.